Okay, so hi all, good evening everybody. So today, so before going to the session, right? So thank you everybody for coming here and taking out the time today. It's almost Friday evening, so I know you guys might be having some other plans as well. So yeah, okay. Abbas has delivered the session on the streaming replication and how we can convert it to logical. So, if you remember or recall a first session of PG meetup, so since the first meetup, we are delivering something about the PG logical or the logical replication, right? So today I'm going to talk about the improvements or the features that is been added or enhancement given in the PostgreSQL 16, as well as a new feature has been added. So we'll be delivering or talking about those features going forward. So myself Rajesh, and I'm from Amazon as a lead consultant, and I'm working with Amazon from last 6 years and almost 11 years completed, and working as a Postgres engineer or DBA. Okay, so today I'll be talking more about the improvements or the enhancement there with the PostgreSQL. Like if if I recall, the native replication started in PostgreSQL version 10, but the val level equal to logical, so that was started in 9.5 version onwards or 9.4, right? So, and there was already an extension given by a second quadrant, that is PG logical, and that was supported for 9.4 onwards and the higher versions. And going forward, community has added the native logical replication from Postgres 10, right? So yeah. So this is the agenda. So introduction to logical replication. I think almost half of the part is covered by Abbas in the streaming, like the previous session. So and next going, we will be looking into what are the enhancements added in the Postgres 16 and 17, and not only enhancement but the new features also. And related to new features, I have 2 demos for that, and if you have any questions or anything, we will discuss on that as well. But I'll not be covering any of the use cases which are related to customers. I'll be just focusing on the new features given by the community, right? Okay, so let's understand what exactly is the logical replication. So physical, when we talk about the physical replication or the streaming replication, always we have to copy the entire data set, or we have to build the complete environment, right? So for that you need to have everything. But if I want to copy some set of data, only one table or one column, or as Prashant was asking, right, if we can do a filtering thing on the logical replication. So if I want to move a subset of data, then what is the option available in the Postgres? So that is logical replication. So there are multiple levels on which you can have these filterings. If you want to just migrate or move a set of data from the database, you can have a replication set for a complete database, not a cluster, but not the complete instance, but the database. Okay. If you want to do just a few tables, because most of the times we see there will be environments where we want to move some set of data to do some testing, right? We want to have a production equivalent data, or some set of data which should be available in the QA or any other environments, right, to do some analytical workloads or anything. So in that case, you can use this option where you can just transfer subset of data, right? So what is the nature of logical replication while moving the data from one environment or one database to another database is asynchronous. We cannot do a synchronous replication, or we cannot set up that one. That feature is not there. And then okay, so when I talk about when I ask you whether the replication or the streaming replication, whether that supports between a lower version to higher version, no. So if you want to move any if you want to set up a replication between 10 version to 11 version or higher or 17 version, right? So what feature we have is logical replication, right? We cannot do, or we cannot set up a streaming replication between 2 major versions. Yeah. Okay, so I'll talk about this one, like enhanced features. So if I take or consider from PostgreSQL 10, so every year there is some addition or a feature or enhancement to the logical replication. Every year there will be some new feature or new enhancement given to this one by the community. So in the Postgres 16 we got a lot many options, but I am covering only three like three options which are actually useful for everybody. And if you want to plan or set, or you want to make your replication faster, right? So parallel option is given by the community. So whenever you are creating a subscriber, so how it works, I'll tell you. And then origin option. So if you want to set up bidirectional replication between two databases, then you can use this option with some caveats. And then like whenever you set up a replication, so there are two options with it. So initially whenever you want to transfer the data from the publisher to the subscriber, it will either copy the complete data, or you can also mention that I don't want to copy the data, right? So in the earlier versions before 16, so whenever we have like huge tables, right? So we will see that whenever we are copying the data, so there will be a lag or latency or slowness, right? So because of that, community has given a feature called as, like, whenever you want to copy the data from one database to another database, then you can just enable the binary equal to true. So that is a format of copying the data, and which will fasten your copying. So for the third option, I don't have a demo or a picture, so that is just an option what we can give when we create the subscriber. Okay, so this is the first option. Like whenever we set up the publisher, right? So if you see this one, so in the version before the 16, whenever you were doing a big transaction on the publisher, so what it used to do is it used to copy all the data into a temporary file, or it used to hold until the complete transaction completes, and when it sees a commit on the publisher, then it will start copying the data, right? So either it will maintain the data into the split file or the temporary file, or it will progress the transaction, but it will apply on the target when it sees the commit. So for a huge transaction, a single thread or single process will take a lot of time. So what communities has added is max parallel apply worker per subscription. In the sense, whenever you are creating a subscriber, so if you mention the option as parallel equal to true, then what it will do is, so like by default it will be 2. So streaming, whenever it is moving the data, so automatically it will start working in the 2 process, right, or multiple process. So whatever number you are mentioning. And apart from that, the community has added, so community has made one data type change in this PG subscription. So substream column is there, right? So earlier it used to be Boolean, and then now it is changed to character. So P means parallel, and if it is a T, then nothing it is doing. It is just capturing the data from the publisher. And if it is, so earlier it was just a true or false, right? Whether the transaction is progress and whether it is moving the data or not, only true or false. So whenever you create your subscriber with the parallel option, automatically when it is doing parallel processing to copy the data or transfer the data, then you will see that it will be marked as P. So this is a subscription command, and streaming equal to, so this option you can give it as like with streaming equal to parallel. Any question? Okay, so this is a one one test case I have conducted. So you will find the blog also for this one. So what I did is I did the insert of a million rows, and just to test like if I'm using a parallel option and if I'm not using a parallel option. So first one, So parallel option was not enabled, and to sync it took almost 4 minutes because it was running on a parallel single thread or single process. And similar test I have conducted for with a parallel option, and 2 parallel workers was enabled for that subscriber, and it's almost the timing was half because 2 processes were running and it was like divided their workload, right? So this is the use case what I have captured.
What is the
Exact?
insert time?
Insert time, how much time it took to insert the data on publisher. So it's almost same here.
Any resource spike you have seen?
Definitely. So whenever you are giving the increasing the number of processors, right? So first of all, there is one more parameter I have not written actually here. Yeah, it is there. So so whenever you are setting this number, right, max logical replication workers, so whatever per subscription you are setting, so all the workers will be taken from this one. If there is no worker is available, then definitely it will do work in the single process only. So it completely depends on this parameter as well as max parallel process. There is one more parameter actually, and definitely there will be resource consumption. So you have to plan according to your resources or the hardware what you have.
Any math calculation that okay, if you have X processors, like example, we have some PGP, right?
It is.
They do calculation in this step, but it is different to environment. I understand.
It depends completely on the environment and how the hardware you have and what is the requirement. If you are doing some things during off period or off peak periods, right, then you can enable this parameter. So I don't think that this needs a restart.
What's the maximum value that we can go to?
I'm not sure about maximum value, but default value is 2.
But does it depend on the number of CPUs, the value that comes?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
There is no parallel insertion.
Only for subscriber while capturing the data from the source. For huge transactions, we can set this one. For specific tables, we'll see, right? Okay, second is origin option. I'll say that don't use this one, but I'm just explaining this. Yeah, so here is the use case where, you know, like whenever you want to do some activity between the development machine and you want to capture or have, like, if you have a 2 development machines and you want to move the data between themselves, then you can test this kind of options. But otherwise in the production I don't suggest, because it has lot many caveats, like conflict resolution is not there and as well as you will see some of the restrictions with the commands, like you cannot run the truncate and all. So there are a few restrictions with this one, but okay, so some feature is given by the community, that is whenever you are creating a subscriber, you can set the command as origin equal to none. So what it will do is, so it will identify, okay, so this is set to none, and from that I can either accept it or give it back, right? So similarly you can have a publisher and subscriber created on these databases, and you can see like transfer the data between these two. And one thing is, so whenever you are creating a subscription, if you are not mentioning that origin equal to none, then it will take as any. Any is like from any database I can just give it back but cannot take anything. And limitations I have copied, like there are a lot many limitations with that. Yeah, so just go through this. Okay, and one more option is like initial copy. So instead of using, if you have a huge tables, right, always it is recommended to see some option what your data transfer or the initial copy will make faster. So one he has explained, so set up a complete streaming replication and start from the LSN number. If not, what you can do is you can use a copy initially data by with a binary format, so it will make your initial data copy faster. Okay, so some of the new features. One new feature is added. So failover slots is actually enhancement, but I'm considering that one as a addition, because lot many of us were looking for this option. So what happens if something goes wrong with my primary, right? So whether my logical replication will work or it will, like, I have to rebuild. So I'll talk about that one later. So logical replication from standby. So okay, now till now we have seen till version 15, right? We can build your logical replication from only master, right, primary, but it was difficult to build from standby because of some limitations, and it will not allow you to copy or replicate the data from standby. So that's the reason there were limitations. But community has added one new feature in the 16 version, that you can also set up your logical replication. So publisher will be always created on your primary, but at the background there will be a process which will be copying the data or allowing the logical replication to copy the data from the standby. So for that, whenever you create a third server which is for logical replication, so this one, so whenever you create this third one, so whenever you are creating the subscriber, you can give the port and mention the host name and everything of your standby. So any operation happens on your primary will automatically get replicated to your third server, that is a logical replication. So for this one I have a demo, I'll show you. Okay, so I'll show the demo. So it visible? छोटा है. Not able to see?
What is there is not I can see.
Okay, I'll explain. Okay, so this is my primary. Okay, so this is my standby and this is my streaming replication, logical replication, which is C. Okay, so the first one is running on port 5432, this is running on 5433 and 34. Okay, so now if you see when I executed select star from pg stat replication, so while receiver is running, it means that streaming replication is there between these two, and I'm checking whether this one is in recovery or not. It means standby is, still it is standby or not. So PG is in recovery, it is true. Yeah, so this is false because this is a standalone as of now, right? So if you see, I have just executed to check what all tables are available, and the same table, I have created one more table by R2. So same table is got replicated here, but in definitely in the third server it won't be there because there is a streaming replication and DDLs will get transferred, or will get created. But whereas in third server, as it is a logical replication, I'm going to build a logical replication. So we have to create the structure first, either using schema dump or as it is just a two tables, so I have created directly. Okay, so now only structure is available but no data into that, so I'm going to insert 1000 rows. So 1000 rows inserted, and that got replicated as it is. There is a streaming replication setup, and here there won't be a data. So let's set up now publisher on the primary. So if you see, I have created a publication by test pub, for all the tables. So for R1 and R2 will be a part of that replication now, right? And I'm creating a subscriber here. Okay. So if you see the command like create subscription test sub connection database, and if you see the port, right, I'm giving a standby port, right? It is not a primary one, it is standby. Okay, it got created, and if you see, like when it creates successfully, then only it will register its entry into the publisher, right? So let me see that now. Otherwise it will be in the like copying sync. When it does the sync, right, it will be in the sync mode. So if you see here, so async mode, and it is just copying the data now, and when I re-execute that one, you will see only one entry. See this one. Okay. Any questions? Yeah.
What is the benefit of doing this? Can we use primary and directly set up logical replication for that one?
You can do that. Yeah. So I'll cover that part. Okay. So the benefits of this one is, for example, so there was a question from this guy, right? What's your name? Nikhil. So he asked us like, what will be the impact on your source? So if your database is very much busy, then to reduce the impact on that one, you can have your logical replication set on your standby, right? So that is one advantage. And second advantage is in case, I mean, this is, I'm just giving a hint, but don't set always this one. But okay, so now if my standby goes down, I mean, sorry, the primary goes down completely, or something happened bad with my primary, so my secondary will be there, and already my logical replication is replicating from this one. So your logical replication after promoting this one, still it will be alive, okay? But if this goes down, then gone. Okay, so that is the second benefit, what you will see. And there is no option of rebuilding this one till version 17 because it will be difficult for us. Logical replication we cannot start. I mean, we can start by giving the advance number, but we'll miss some of the transactions, and it will be difficult for us also to capture the LSN numbers, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I told that workaround is there, advanced LSN we can give it. Okay, so this is the feature which is added from Postgres 16 onwards, and this is really good. Now this is 16. Okay, so now we have seen the replication from the standby. I'll go back to my PPT. Okay, so failover slots. So this is a new concept or addition or the enhancement or a new feature. I'll call it as new feature. So which is given by community in Postgres version 17. So like most of the times to save our time, right? For example, if I am having a logical replication built between two databases, and if something went wrong with the primary, right, from where I have already built the logical replication, and if that goes down, so what is the option I have is you can use this one. So like failover slots. So that whenever you promote your standby as a primary, you have to just run 2 or 3 commands on your logical replication and point the standby or the new master as a source for or the publisher for the logical replication. So here, so okay, what is the advantage of this one? First of all, like whenever you have a failover slots, right, no need to rebuild your completely from scratch the logical replication. Then so always whenever you enable this option, right, so to sync between your primary and the standby, the logical slots will be there, right? I mean the slots. So that should always be up to date between your master and the standby. So that's why one slot sync worker will be running, and always it will make sure that okay, whatever the transaction or the LSN is there, right? So that should be fulfilledly committed or up to sync with my primary in the standby. And then we can use it for, like, it will enhance your HA, so that in case of failures, right, you can rebuild your logical replication just pointing to the standby. So some of the parameters what you have to set on the standby. So these parameters are related to standby, not primary or not a logical replication. So these are related to standby. You have to make sure that always your standby will have a complete sync with your primary, the slot sync, right? And there are two options also added. One is automate. If you want to enable the automatic sync, then you can just set this parameter. If not, manually you want to do, you have this function given by the community. Okay, so same representation of a diagram. So in till Postgres 16, so same like if I have set the replication between the primary, logical replication between the primary and the third server, right, logical, and if that goes down, so we have to rebuild from the scratch. So there was no option at all to point it out, or we have to do a lot of work to rebuild this one. So in 17, just always keep your slot, the physical slot, always sync with your primary, and once like whenever that goes down, right, automatically you can point your logical replication to new primary by just altering your connection details in the logical replication. Any questions? It's difficult, I think. No? Okay. Okay.
Standby is becoming primary. And the logical will remain same.
Yes.
If you are running an old version of Postgres,
16.
the workaround, you can use Patroni.
Patroni.
Patroni has feature to copy the replication slot.
I'm not using Patroni. I'm talking only about the community. No. Yeah, Patroni, or there is one more thing also. You can do it if you are copying the LSN numbers into some table, right?
Yeah,
So
when we create the slot, we cannot create a slot of the past.
You cannot create, but if that is available with your archive files, I mean you are copying that archive files into some location, and if that is there, then it will at least take from that. So that is the secondary and biggest solutions what we have. Yeah. Okay. Wait.
This is the demo on it.
Yes. Okay. So same. Okay. So I'm just taking like a count. Already I had the setup, right? So same setup I'm using it here. So now same, like this is my primary standby, and then this is a logical replication. So now I have not created standby yet, just I'm creating the logical replication between the primary and the logical replication. So if you see, this is the version 17 what I'm using, and if you see, there are two slots. One is physical and one is the subscriber, like test underscore test sub is there, right? So that is a logical one. And as of now, if you see, the test logical is ready with my failover. So okay, one option I have forgot to tell here. So I'll explain here only. Okay, so whenever you are creating the subscriber, right, so one option is given by the community in the Postgres 17. So here we have to mention that with failover equal to true. So I forgot to write in my PPT, but So if you are not mentioning that one, it will not allow you to alter your connection whenever you are redirecting, right? It will not allow the replication unless you maintain that that option actually failover equal to true. So that it will allow you to be in sync whenever you are doing the failovers or promotion of your standby to new master. Okay, I have dropped the physical slot. Ignore that command actually. So now there is one slot which is like related to the logical replication test sub, and failover is marked as true, right? And it is running successfully now. Let's see if data got replicated or not. Yes, data is getting replicated. So for R2 it is not yet because I have not inserted the data. Yeah. Okay, so it is like there is a connectivity between these two and the data is getting replicated properly. So now what I am doing is I am going to create one physical slot. So now what is the benefit of this one is, so this is the one who will hold your information of what is the LSN number, so that whenever you promote your standby, right, so it will make sure that the physical slot is in sync with your primary, and in case of failover, right, so you can directly ask logical replication to go and access data from the standby. So that is the purpose of having this physical slot. And I'll show you one more thing actually. Yeah, so now let's build the standby server. So I'm just changing the port as I'm running all the environments on the same server. So that's why I have just changed the port to 5433, and I'm going to do one more change. So whenever when I took the backup, right, so I mentioned -r as an option so that it will hold all the information of your primary server in the recovery file. And here one change I'm doing, that is, so if you see, I'm just writing like database name equal to Postgres. So it is mandatory whenever you are doing the like you are setting up the logical replication, right? So logical replication will work on only database level, right? It will not work on the instance level. So whenever you are providing, whenever you are creating a streaming replication, it will be on complete the instance level, right? So here, to make sure that your logical slot is, the physical slot is sync for the logical replication, you have to mention the database name. So that's why I'm writing as database name equal to Postgres. So if you have many slots, right, so you can either give a comma separated or star there, it will work. Okay, now my standby is started. 5432 23. Okay, it is in recovery, and if I do a select star from a replication, so if you can see here two entries. One is for, this is a val receiver in the sense the standby streaming replication, and another one is test sub, that is my logical replication. So now if I execute the same command, right, so the failover option and the slot name, right, so if I execute here, it will show as true and one will be false, because this is a physical slot what I have created, right? And if I execute same command here, you will notice that. So here if you see, I'm checking, so as that is a primary, I'm just checking whether it is in sync or not. So that is like, ignore this one, because on the primary it won't work at all. But when I execute the same command, because I need to make sure that my primary and my standby is in sync for that slot, right? So if I execute same command there, say if you see this one, so for my logical slot, it is making sure that okay, it is in sync, and if I do the failover, still my logical replication can be pointed to this one, the standby or the new primary, and I mean the logical replication will get replicated. Okay, so let's promote this one, the standby. So I've just shut down the primary and I've promoted this secondary. Like now this is a new master, so PG is in recovery. Yeah, no. Okay, now what? I'm just making sure that I'm executing properly or not, so that's why I'm just checking what command I have to run. So first of all, disable the slot to make sure that there are no changes or nothing is happening bad with your logical replication, and then just change the, okay. So now if you see the alter subscription test sub connection, database is Postgres, again I'm mentioning the database name, and port is 5433 as my new primary is running on 5433, right? Alter and then enable it so that replication will again enabled. Okay. So I'm just deleting some rows from R2, and till now it was 1000 rows, and when I'm checking after changing this one, so it got replicated. So this will help you whenever you are doing setups, and in case of failovers, again no need to rebuild the logical replication from scratch. I mean, the community has given us good feature actually. So there are some limitations to this one, like as of now I didn't find anything which will help us to monitor the logical replication. So I don't know, in the future you will allow us to do it or not. Okay, so yeah, and I don't. Okay, so here just subscription process is running, but I thought like if I would have run the huge insert or delete, right? So you will see the sync process also, but it is not there. Yeah, any questions? No? Okay, will you have it?
Yeah, so one question. Say now we have parallelism for subscriber side. For logical decoding side, is there any improvement? I don't know. I am not following it with the logical application side much, but that is a major bottleneck in the logical application. So do you see any improvement happening there?
So for parallelism,
Yeah.
so they have added one feature, right? So where you can mention, so whenever you are creating a subscriber, so during that time you can mention like
He's asking on the source side.
source side. No, I don't think as of now we have anything.
That is a major pain point.
Create multiple publications.
No, you can use standby now. You can use standby now. No, but I don't see any major release they are doing anything, any work on that side actually, because whenever you create a subscriber, what it will do is it will start from this side actually to process here. So whenever you initiated two process, so it will ask primary to give me two processes, right? So yeah, so there will be a headache, but there is nothing from master side actually.
Like you said, if we create two publishers, both the publishers will be doing the same decoding.
Same decoding, yeah.
And there is no coordination.
Okay. So any more questions? Anything? Good. So we can, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.